Ukraine's loss in the Easter truce, as Russia cleverly took advantage. It's day 1152 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. As you know, yesterday there was an Easter truce on the front line. Fronts that have seen constant battle for years were in peace for a day. However, this would have not happened, because Ukraine at first did not accept. According to the sources, when Putin announced the Easter truce, and told Ukraine to do the same, Ukraine rejected the proposal. However, before the truce was about to come into effect, Ukraine changed its initial decision and decided to do the same. Many people were saying Ukraine was told by many of their partners to accept the truce, because Russia announced it first, so if Ukraine does not accept, they would look bad in front of the whole world. In a sense, by announcing it first, Russia indirectly forced Ukraine to accept. And this was not the only way Ukraine lost in this Easter truce. As Ukraine accepted, Russian forces used this truce to their advantage and resupplied and strengthened their recently captured positions. We will look at several areas where Russia advanced just before the truce came into effect. Starting from up north in the Kursk region. As you know, the only small area that remained under control of Ukrainian forces was this area of Oleshnya. But a day before the truce, the Russian command decided to increase their pressure and close the chapter once and for all. According to the report, they recaptured this area and thus completely pushed Ukrainian forces from their main bridgehead in Kursk. And a whole day of truce helped consolidate this recently captured village. Now moving to the Toretsk front. Here Russian forces have performed great maneuvers recently. As you know, Ukraine has a strong garrison here after they redeployed several units. And in a previous report, I said Russia will have to expand this recent advance, as Ukraine could inflict high losses with FPV drones from both sides. Recent reports from this section suggest Russian forces have started attacking from here. However, due to intense fighting, only this tiny area is confirmed. However, this has big potential. In addition, at the northern flank of Druzhba, Russia wants to recapture the Dakhny that was lost during the Ukrainian counteroffensive, because this axis will assist their first axis of the highway in order to advance towards Konstantinivka. These are first moves that Russian forces are making for big offensive. Just a day before the truce, Russian forces launched an attack along the tree line and attacked this line from the east. In addition to securing their rear, their other units advanced along this tree line. It was reported they captured these areas. Now during the truce they would have easily resupplied their assault units and strengthened their position to attack further. Now to their southwestern flank of this offensive, Russian also recaptured position before the truce. In our previous report, we saw how Russian forces captured half of Sukhobulka. Now in a couple of hours before the start of the truce, many Russian sources reported their forces completed the capture of Sukhobulka. However, there are still a couple of buildings left before we can consider the complete capture. In addition, small advances were also reported in Zaporizhzhia. As you can see, Russian forces just before the truce captured several positions and took advantage to resupply and rotate their forces. However, this will not make a massive difference on the grand scale of things. But the Russian side benefited the most, as they can easily expand on the recent gains. Now, regardless of what happened on the front line, this truce is one step in the right direction. This one step shows both sides that there is still hope that a ceasefire could be achieved. During the truce, both sides retrieved their fallen soldiers from the battlefield. Even though Ukraine has accused Russia of breaking the truce, no concrete evidence has been shared. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.